going on YouTube? It's your boy KTBTV and I am back with another barber tutorial. Today we are going to be doing a wavelength, or we're going to be doing a low Caesar, if you would. Many tapers on the sides and the back. Oh my gosh, son. So let's get into it. The first thing you want to do is you want to comb or pick the hair out. He had a little bit more hair on top, so I picked it out. And then we're gonna come in with that 1.5. I believe that is open. And then we're just gonna go with the grain, right? We're just gonna take slow, consistent strokes, right? Taking your time while doing this, feeding, making sure the hair is feeding through the teeth of the blade and going over the same spot multiple times. Make sure you comb while you're doing this as well, right? So when you cut, well, you comb once so you can lay the hair back down, so that way you can make sure you're cutting every individual piece of hair, if that makes sense, right? Sometimes the curls curl back up after you do it, so it'll be a longer length, right? So you want to make sure you comb, stretch the hair back out to make sure everything is one desired length. All right, so now we're coming in with that liner prep, right? After I knock everything down, I like to hit the liner with got to be holding spray. I do it in the beginning so that way when I come with the liner, it's already set, right? And it gives off more of like an ash line or whatever the case may be. I know a lot of people like that. Now I'm coming in with that one guard. This is a nice little trick for all my new barbers. To get the line and the hair around the liner to lay down, you come in with the guard underneath the guard that you were just using, right? Lower, so a length lower, and you lay everything down the same way you did, you know, when you cut with the grain. And that's what I'm doing right here. It's just gonna make the lining pop more. And now we come in and we set our first frame outliner with the babies, right? My pre-liners. We just tapping at the nape of the neck, keeping everything consistent. Y'all see how it's kind of leaving like that slight ash mark? That's what that holding spray does, right? It locks the hair in place so that when it makes it easier for you to tap at the line, right? So you want to make sure whatever you do to one side, you do to the opposite side. That is how you create symmetry. We're gonna take this line all the way around the ear. You see how when I'm going around the ear, I'm using the corner of my blade. Man, this is why I like these TPOBs, man. The blade is so small that you can get right in these little areas, man, without worrying about the blade being too big. It's perfect, bro. You just take your time while you're doing this. All right, now we get into the back taper. I typically speed through this, right? But today I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give them the full no edit version of how I do my tapers. So I started off no guard all the way close, and then we went up. We opened it all the way up, and then we went up about 1/2 inch, right? And then now I'm notching in between that. So once I get that to the length that I want it to be, then I go from open, one notch, one notch, one notch, one notch, all the way closed until I knock that line out. Now I'm coming in with the one guard, all the way closed, and I'm doing the exact same thing, going up about, I think I stretched this a little bit. So I think I went up about maybe an inch, maybe like a finger's width and a half, just to give myself a little bit more room for the blend, right? You're doing the same thing. Man, you come in with that half guard all the way open, and we're going to do the same thing, the notching method. See right there, I went one notch down, and we're going to notch it slowly until that line is taken out. Sometimes it doesn't take it all the way out, so we're gonna have to take that half guard off and go in with no guard all the way open. But if you notice, I'm using the corners of my blades. This is when you're blending, when you're detailing, you want to use the corners of your blades as opposed to using the entire blade, right? It helps you detail a little bit easier. See, it didn't come out all the way, so now I'm using that no guard all the way open, right? And I'm still using those corners. That's how you break it down. That's how you get in between that, right? So get used to rocking method, rocking method. Now I'm coming in with that 1.5, and we kind of like scooping out at it, right? That's kind of like a slight C motion, right, at the top of this blend. And then we're going to keep that 1.5 on, and we're going to do the same notching method, right? So when you're setting in your guideline, you use the entire blade. When you're detailing or you're blending, you're using the corners of your blade, right? It's going to help you get in between those teeth, get in between, or get the hair strands in between the teeth of the blade, so you can pinpoint certain areas that you're trying to detail, if that makes sense. And then no, this is not going to take everything out. So we're gonna have to come back with that one guard all the way open, right? And we're gonna still detail, still doing that notching method, taking that line out slowly but surely. Just take your time while you're doing this, man. Also, you don't necessarily have to do the notching method, right? That's my thing. What I used to do is I didn't do the notching method, right? I used to go all the way open, then I would go halfway, then all the way closed, and then detail in between that, right? There's multiple ways to skin a cat. The result is the result. So as long as you get to the end goal, it don't matter how you get there, right? Take whatever steps you want to do. But if you like my method, please feel free to try it, man. And if you try it, drop it in the comment section, man, and let me know that you actually tried it, and if you like it or not. Just keeping everything consistent, man. Using those corners, man. Make sure when you in the midst of your blend, man, you take a second and you look away to reset your eyes, right? Look at the mirror, turn the client towards the mirror. Go look away and grab a guard, or drop the comb, pick another comb up or something like that, so you can reset your eyes, right? Retrain your eyes on the blend. The more you focus on it, the more your eyesight kind of blurs and it locks into that. So you want to reset it so that way you can relook at the blend like, okay, cool, I'm missing this in this area. I missed that in this area, whatever the case may be. Now we coming in with that two guard and we gonna debulk at the top. This two guard is just gonna put everything into place where it should be. Y'all see the heaviness right there at the top. That two guard is just gonna cut in between all of that. I'm coming in with the two guard open, and then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do like a slight notching method just to lay everything down. And whatever doesn't get taken out by that two guard, you come back in with that 1.5 and you do more detail work, and everything is gonna lay in where it should lay. So I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna let y'all watch this process. See, now I'm coming back in with that 1.5, right? There were certain areas that that two guard wasn't taking out. So you come back in with that 1.5 all the way open, using them corners, man, and it's gonna blend everything. This is detail work, right? Lever play, man. You get in there and you use different lengths, right? Use different guards to get that desired length. Don't hesitate when you're doing this. Just take your time, man. And this comes with learning your clippers, right? Learning what guard will take off what length the notch will take off what, right? If I apply this much pressure, how much will it take off? If I go less pressure, then, you know what I'm saying? So learn your clippers, man. The more you cut with them, the more you will learn how to use them. apologies about the camera angle, man. Sometimes when you locked in the zone, I be forgetting I got that neck mount on, man. And I just be in the mode. But I'm trying to get better with it, man. Trying to be more conscious of that I have the neck mount on and how I need to stand and when to slouch over and when to not. So now that you got the blend set, you want to come in with your hitters, right? And you go back over that first initial framework work that you did with the babies. And you just tap at that line, man. Be gentle when you're doing that. And just watch everything come into place. All right, man. So we doing the same exact steps that we did for the back taper. We doing on the side. It's literally the exact same steps, right? You come in, no guard completely closed, then you go up about a half of an inch, no guard completely open, and then you notch at it, right? It just don't take as much time because you're in a smaller area. You're not cutting off as much hair. Then you come in with the one guard completely closed, you go up about another half of an inch, and then you come back in and you detail that with the half guard, right? The reason I detail while I'm blending, while I'm setting in my guidelines, is to speed up the process, right? You will notice that when you get used to doing this, and when you're doing this, a lot, you will take an hour cut down to 45 minutes, down to 30 minutes, a 30-minute cut down to 20 minutes, down to 15 minutes. So try it out, man. And you know what I'm saying? It works smarter, not harder. You get what I'm saying? Like if you detail why you setting it in, if you take that round right back out, it ain't even gonna sit there for too long. You know what I'm saying? So now we coming in with that 1.5. You know what I'm saying? And we going up about another half of an inch. You know what I'm saying? With the scooping method. My apologies. Like a C motion. And then you're still going to notch. Using those corners, man. I know you're in a smaller area, smaller space, but make sure when you're doing this, you're combing, man. Cut one, comb one, or brush. Cut one, brush one. Whatever you prefer to use, make sure while you're cutting, you're using that. You keep one of those in your hands at all times, so you can lay the hairs back down and see. Okay, cool. What did I take off in this area? What's still there? Sometimes it may be a ball or a clump of hair, and you steady going over it thinking that it's darker than what it is, when all you needed to do was comb it or brush it away. And then you come back in with that one guard and you do your detail work, right? This is that detail work. Then you come in with the one guard, maybe the half guard, maybe no guard, maybe a two guard, maybe a three. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how the length is. Now I'm coming in with that two guard right here, and we're gonna debulk at the top. But if you notice, my steps are the same no matter what area of the head I am on. This is how you create symmetry, right? This is how you stay consistent. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the next side. Your steps don't change. You do the same thing no matter where you at. And make sure you get behind the ear when you're doing your tapers, man. Like yeah. There, you never want to have a super blurry blend and then a big bulk of clump or hair right behind the ear because you ain't hit the ear or you ain't hit that hair behind the ear, right? You don't take no time putting that ear down, and you know what I'm saying? Now I'm coming back in with that 1.5, and we're gonna detail right underneath what I did with that two guard, right? Because the two guard didn't take everything out. So now we coming in with the 1.5 using our corners, notching method. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna get everything together, man. We gonna get everything to where we want it to be. Now here. So what I did was I noticed that there was still a little bit of bulk that neither the two or the 1.5 against the grain was doing. So guess what I did? I started with the 1.5 open. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come with that 1.5 open, and I'm gonna lay that hair back down. Now we can come back in with that one guard, and we can do a little bit more detail work. Look at that. It's coming together. As you can see while I'm detailing, I am only using the corners of my blade. Now, once you have everything set, right, you come back in with your hitters and you re-hit the first initial line that you had already set. Now, sometimes what this does is when you set the lining, right, it helps you see the spots on the blend that may or may not need to be detailed more, right? So once you set that lining, it makes everything pop. Now, I know how I like to get on this side. I just want to have a conversation with y'all. I just speed this process up. It's the same. So, um, I think today I want to talk about um procrastination, man. Just I know sometimes it's difficult, right? We have all these goals and dreams and things that we may or may not want to do, and we let life get in the way, right? We let life distract us. If you set out to do something, there's no such thing as the perfect timing to do it, right? The perfect time is now. Once you start, that's the perfect time to start, right? You're not going to be professional at it when you first start. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall short. You're going to mess up, right? The only thing that will stop you from achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve is not starting it in the first place. Trying to wait for the perfect time. So just start, and everything else will fall in place once you start. But you have to start, whatever it is. Start. If you want to cut hair, start cutting hair. If you want to do a podcast, start learning how to do it. Start recording them, right? Start editing videos. If you want to learn how to make music, start writing, right? That's the only way you will learn how to do it. You got to start. And once you start, you'll see where you are in your process, right? And then you just keep going, keep growing, keep going. And next thing you know, you'll look up 3 months from now and you are way better than you were when you first started. Also, when you do that, make sure you document everything that you do. You start your beginning process. You start the middle process. Once you've been a month in, once you've been 2 months in, once you've been 3 months in, get video footage, man, so that way you can always look back and see where you started and how far you have come. So yeah, man, that's just my little 2 cents for the day, man. Start. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait for the perfect time. There's no such thing as the perfect time. The perfect time is now. Get out there, get it started, make it happen. You're the only person who can. Now, coming back in with those lines again, right? Whatever I do to one side, I'm gonna do to the other side. That is how you create symmetry. That is how you stay consistent. That is how you make sure that whatever that one side looks like the other side, right? You just gotta repeat the same steps. The more you do them, the more you will get used to the process, right? Then next thing you know, you'll be doing it like this the back of your hand. All right, now we get into that line. Now remember, in the beginning, I had already sprayed that got to be to lock everything in. Now I'm coming in with the babies, right? And when I do my liners, I like to use a brush to make sure I pull the hair forward, right? When I'm cutting, I use a comb. The comb spaces the hair out. A brush clumps it together and it pulls it forward. So that's what I'm using. And then here, right? Like I always tell you guys, it don't matter how you start, it matters how you end. So here, I started in the middle, right? I use the tip of the nose as a guideline and I work my way straight up and I hit the middle, right? And I go from one side to the next. So if I start to the right, I start in the middle and I go all the way over to the right. I completely do that entire side. I hit the vertical bars and I do the C cup as well. Sometimes, it all depends, right? Or like if you've seen in other videos, I may start with the vertical bars first, right? I hit the vertical bars to do more of like a frame out work, and then I'll go and I'll start in the middle afterwards. There's multiple ways to do the same thing. It's the end result that matters. So here, yeah, I'm finna go on and create the C cup, right? I went from starting in the middle, worked my way all the way over. I believe that's his left. work my way all the way over. I hit the vertical bar, and now I'm creating a C cup. Then guess what I'm gonna do when I want to work my way to the right? I'm gonna start back in the middle, right? And work my way from the middle to the right. And I'm gonna do the same thing and make sure everything is lined up. Look at how that taper sit, man, once you hit that line in, bro. Now what I'm doing is I'm cleaning up those little hairs that most people can't see, but us as barbers with the barber eye, we can see that. Now I'm starting back in the middle and I'm gonna work my way all the way to the right, doing the same exact thing, making sure everything is consistent. Now, when it comes to the vertical bars, I use the eyebrows as references, right? So if if the vertical bar is in the middle of the eyebrow on the left, guess where I'm gonna put it on the right? In the middle of the eyebrow. If it's at the edge of the eyebrow, I'm gonna do the same thing. Placement is it helps with symmetry when the face is slightly symmetrical. Sometimes that's not always the case, right? They do have combs and things of that nature to where you can use them as like guidelines, and you can like measure it. And then when I want to set the vertical bars, I mean the C cups, what I do is whatever C cup I first initially set, I use my finger or I use my comb and I trace it from one side to the next side. After you set the baby line, right, the pre-lining, you come back with the hitters. Again, sorry for my angle and my position on the camera, but you come back with the hitters and you re-solidify that lining. Yes, you're still going to come back in with the straight razor in the end, but you come back in with this with the headers, right? So you can really solidify that liner. And now you come in with the razor. Again, I always tell you, when you're doing a razor, make sure you do a new razor for each client, right? You do not want to cross contaminate. And it's just unsanitary, man. It's unclean. Put a new blade on now, right? Put your headrest on the chair, lay your client back, right? To make it not only easy for you, but comfortable for them. And then you lay the blade at a 45-degree angle, right? Using your opposite hand, you stretch the skin to create tension so the blade can easily glide, right? And you just take your time while you're doing this. Lean the chair all the way back, and this is how you can hit the C cup and also the front liner, right? Going straight across. Take your time while you're doing this, man. Also, after you hit it, don't be afraid to dust the client off, right? And re-hit the line again, right? Hit it 2 times, hit it 3 times, whatever the case may be. Just don't push it back when you're doing it. And don't overdo it because you don't want to irritate the skin. Now, I come back in with my hitters one more time, get those little flyaways, make sure everything is hitting the way I want it to hit. But we're getting ready to come up to the end of this video, man. I hope y'all enjoy this more detailed tutorial, in my opinion. If y'all like the content, man, make sure y'all comment, like, sub up if you're new, share it with your mama, with your auntie, with your sister, with your cousin, with your brother. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video, man. I appreciate y'all.